Welcome to a Get Ready With Me. Today I'm about to go on a date. I'm about to get ready for my date, and I just had some thoughts that I kind of wanted to get off my chest. I realized, before we hop into the thoughts, I realized that I don't know why I always wait until the last minute to figure out what I'm wearing, figure out what perfume I'm wearing, figure out the makeup look I want to do, when I could just do that ahead of time. So I did that ahead of time, and today I'm going to be mixing my favorite Dossier perfume. Y'all heard me talk about this multiple times. Amber Saffron and Dolce & Gabbana, the only one. This is my holy grail, but I kind of wanted to mix the two today just to kind of see what it was given, you know? Your girl is in her dating era. I know in a couple vlogs ago, I talked to you guys about just being fed up with dating and getting off of the apps. I'm back on the apps, and in my goals video, I also mentioned that I'm just going to approach dating with a different mindset. So what I mean by that is, I think I used to be really negative about dating and seeing it as a chore, which, don't get me wrong, sometimes I still feel that way. I'm not perfect, but I am trying to view it as a fun way to get to know people. And of course, I'm still going to be intentional and share what I'm looking for, but I'm not only going to be I don't want it to feel like an interview, which it never really does with me because I like to talk to people. Sometimes I do feel as though it could be tiring if you're not, it can become tiring if you don't really view it as okay, I'm going out for a fun night. If I happen to see this man again, great. If not, that's okay too. I just want to enjoy the experience and enjoy the moment. But I found myself in the past really thinking okay, this man has to be my boyfriend. He has to be husband material. He has to blah, blah, blah. Which I still think about. I still think okay, could I see myself being with this person long term? But what is different for me now is I don't let that guide the date. I don't constantly think about that and overanalyze while I'm on the date, because then I don't enjoy the date. How am I supposed to enjoy the date if I'm just thinking about, he said that thing, that's no. He said that other thing, that's no. Just enjoy it, and then you could think about, okay, do I want to see this person again? Did I have fun? How did my body feel? How did my mind feel? Did we have similar values? Things like that. So I've approached it differently. I've approached it differently since my coworker actually sent me this podcast, and I'll link it down below. It's called The Science of Finding a Partner. And I know some of you guys are you'll probably be because I was like this too, just let it happen, let it flow. Yes, but as someone who has worked hard for every other thing in her life and has actually achieved it, I think there's more to love than there's more to love than that spark. You might have the spark, you might not. And in that podcast, she talked about, she literally said she has a chapter in one of her books, which I'll also get to, called F the Spark. And I could not agree more. Now, before I used to be there was no, there was no. And granted, sometimes there might be, sometimes on the first date, sometimes there might be, and sometimes there might not be. But that doesn't mean that you and this person didn't vibe. If you had good conversations with this person, you could see yourself going on another date with them. She said, give yourself 3 dates with that person before you make a decision, unless it's something egregious that they do and you're oh yeah, this will absolutely never work. But I remember in my 20s, I would cut somebody off, and please do not judge me. I already have friends who have judged me about cutting somebody off about this. I have cut somebody off because of their pants, like the way their pants fell over their shoes. And granted, I do like somebody who knows how to dress decently. Like, you don't have to be a fashionista, but like, you know how to put a fit together real quick. Like, you don't look dusty, you look well put together. I do like that. However, I have noticed myself kind of like straying away from being a stickler for that, because I would cut people off on the first date and be like, no. I would just be like, no. And I wouldn't even think about, am I enjoying myself? Am I having good conversations with this person? Because I'm automatically thinking like, time for me to go, this is a dub, like, no, this is not working. Whereas in the podcast, she talks about like just making sure that you align in your values with this person, and thinking about having fun on this date, like having a good time. You're trying something new, you are seeing how this person acts around other people, like things like that. And I just noticed that when I turned 30, it was that 1 year where it was like, this has to happen, this has to happen. And now that I'm 32, I'm sort of just like, let go, let God. Because if I keep stressing myself out, I'm going to, one, not enjoy my life currently, and two, I'm just gonna keep on thinking on it. Yes, I do think I need to put effort into my dating life, which is why I'm now putting myself back out there, because I was not really leaving my apartment or dating on the app. So like, what, how did you expect to meet your man? Knock on the door? I wish. But now that I'm putting myself out there a little bit more, I have found that even the way that I'm dating on the apps, I'm having more fun doing it. I'm having a lot more fun doing it. Look at this fun thing that me and my friends came up with. We have a book club. It's called Bougie Book Club. So we named this Bougie Dating Challenge. And it's not really, we're not really bougie. It's just the word that we wanted to use, honestly. The word that we use for our group. But I'll try to see if I put a PDF. But it's like a bingo card. You have to do all of them. It's not like getting it in a row or whatever. But like, 1, write down 3 things you want out of your next relationship. 2, smile at a hot guy every day for a week. 3, stay off social media for a day or longer, because we tend to compare ourselves and our lives to other people. Well, let me speak for myself, but I tend to, and I think a lot of other people too, but I tend to compare myself to people on social media. 4, go to a museum solo. 5, talk to a guy at a coffee shop, Trader Joe's, library, or the train. Like 3 people who aren't your type on a dating app, and like your type, trying to stray away from that also, but that's a whole nother video for another day. Give yourself a compliment in the mirror. Message a guy first on a dating app. Don't just say hey. Give a guy your number in a fun, cute, sneaky way. Volunteer for a cause you care about. Strike up conversation with someone in real life. And dress up and take yourself on a date. So I have not done all of them. I have done some. I didn't check off all of the ones that I did, but now that the weather is getting warmer, my personality is coming out a little bit more, you know, I'm gonna be outside. So I am trying to just lighten up the dating scene, lighten up my dating life. And since I switched to that mentality and like really thought about how this is work, like you're trying to build a life with another person, obviously it's going to take some work. It's not work in the sense of like, okay, this is my job and I'm not having fun, but it's work like it's going to take some effort. It's definitely going to take some effort. So I am going on a date tonight. We've been on quite a few dates now. We've been talking for a month or so. Yeah, I don't want to say much. Yeah, but things are going pretty well. Good combo, things in common, good vibes. But I'm still figuring out my dating style. And for me, I know that it was hard for me to date multiple people at once. But that has also impacted me negatively, because I assume that, oh, okay, we've been on this many dates, we're together. Not together, but like, I don't think he's talking to other people. I have that conversation from the jump, okay? I have that conversation because I'm in my dating era, and until I hear, will you be my girlfriend, I'm single. And that does not mean I'm just out here doing a damn thing, but that does mean that I cannot afford to put all my eggs in one basket yet. So I've learned that from my 20s as well, because in my 20s I would be like, I like him, he likes me, we go together, that's it. And it's like, girl, no you don't. No you don't, because he's not thinking that. So why do you think that? I do want to make sure I share that with the person, because it's just, I'm really big on transparency and being open and honest. We also, if you've heard of We're Not Really Strangers, they have an honest dating experience pack. So we played that and it got real, but in a good way. Learned a lot, talked about a lot, talked about anything that we didn't align on. Because my thing is, I need someone who has a growth mindset. And if you have a fixed mindset and you're not looking to grow in any sort of way, whether that be career, understanding how to reciprocate feelings, understanding what my love language is, even if it's like a little bit different from what you're typically used to, I just need somebody with a growth mindset, because I have a growth mindset and I'm always open to doing something at least once, feeling it out, and then talking about it. So I would have to be with someone who's similar in that. And I think just having a growth mindset with anything in life is just really important, because you just want to stay the same forever. Like, no, we gotta switch it up, okay? I'm having fun with it. I'm having a really good time, and I am also dealing with not beating myself up for having a good time. Like, mom was just like, oh, Chanelle, calm down, it might end, like, stop getting so excited for stuff. But after talking to my therapist, she was like, why do you think you don't deserve this? And why do you also, there are times where I find myself like, why, or like thinking it's gonna end because of me, yada yada yada. And this is just from past trauma that I am working on. And she had me saying things like, I am enough, and I just keep thinking about it and really just giving myself grace, because as we date, like, that's the best way to me to heal. Like, of course, yes, take some time to heal by yourself, but whenever I say like, oh, I'm not dating right now because I'm not ready, I just feel like I'm making an excuse. And that's also what they talked about in the book, The Science of Finding Love. She has a book with a really aggressive title called How Not to Die Alone. And I'm like, I downloaded the audiobook because I was reading it with someone, and it's actually pretty insightful. Like, she hits a couple of points about like the different types of daters, and I think like all four that she's described, I think she said like romanticizer, maximizer, I forget all the names, but I was one of those at least. I was one of those at least at some point in my life. Like, at one point in my life, I experienced that type of, or I exuded that type of energy where I tried to romanticize every single date. I tried to think like, this person has to have every single thing on my list or else they're not for me. I also had times where I would like hide away or shy away from dating because I'm just like, no, I'm not ready. I shouldn't be dating right now. When it's okay to say that, but for how long? Because I was saying that for a hot minute. I was saying it for a good amount of time, and I'm not hiding behind that anymore. So I'm putting myself out there strategically, and I'm still always going to be intentional, even though I'm in my dating, like my fun dating era. Like, I really am going to enjoy this era and ensure that the person that I end up with understands that I'm still learning how to like take things slow, which is why I keep telling myself to calm down. But I want to eventually like build things, I want to eventually build with one person. So yeah, I'm gonna finish getting ready because I'm running late and this wine is making me a little bit warm. So I will show you guys the finished look after. Hey friend, I had fun yesterday. I had a lot of fun. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed my fun dating era video because it's a topic that I don't feel comfortable talking about all the time, but I do think it's important because I just think that it feels good to know that people resonate with the experiences that I'm sharing, because there are times where I'm just like, am I feeling this alone? Like, is it just me? And it's not. And it feels really good to know that everyone is just really trying to figure it out, and that we just need to give each other grace, and that helps me give myself grace, which is something that I'm working on, and give other people grace too. Because I have realized, one, I'm trying to become more self-aware of like certain things that I have been doing, but I have realized that in the past, I've been really judgmental of other people because I'm super judgmental of myself. And it's just something that I'm glad I have the ability to acknowledge now, because I don't want that to impact how I show up in any relationship, friendship, significant other, parents, siblings, like all of that. I just want to make sure that I understand that life is hard. Everybody's going through it. There's no reason to be so judgy of yourself, of other people. Everyone is just trying to figure this thing out. Like, figure out what I like, figure out what I don't like, figure out what makes me smile, what makes me sad, what I should stay away from, what I should gravitate towards. Like, it's just, I'm really loving my mindset shift as of recently, because it just helps me feel more relaxed, and it helps me feel like I'm living, I'm experiencing the moments as they come, I'm enjoying the moments as they come. I am not being hard on myself for what I'm supposed to be doing or how my life should look. I'm grateful for how my life looks right now. And that's the message. So, yeah, I feel really, really good. All right, y'all, let me go.